And I freaking grabbed her and I punched her. And I got really aggressive. And I won't get into the details, but I got really aggressive. And that was the last day that I ever fought a woman.
And I'm suddenly having all these emotions of I'm having insecurities. I'm feeling very vulnerable.
If growing up, the mother figure in your life didn't give you the love that you wanted or the validation that you needed or the support or the safety, then the way that you relate to your feminine energy, your life force, is the way that you relate to your mother.
I can't fathom the word to describe the feeling that I got, that it was pivotal to a change in my path.
Hello, beautiful being. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Joanna, and I'm just here to spread wisdom around feminine embodiment, spirituality, inner work, and share with you some really freaking cool adventures that my soul is taking me on, and allowing those adventures to create lessons and insights that can really support your embodiment journey, your inner work journey, your spiritual journey. And so in this video today, we're gonna dive into the power of manifestation, the power of your intuition, and the power of healing your feminine wounds. Because all those three things did, guess what? Got me a free tattoo, okay? Your girl is yadded now. Like, who does she think she is? I am yadded. Let's get into it. The way that this happened was, as a feminine embodiment guide, and just a soul that is so freaking passionate about how we are creating this new earth, I'm somebody that hosts in-person women's circles. And so a year ago, a dear sister of mine and I decided to host a women's circle. This one ended up being a really big one. And so in this women's circle, we sat with the powerful medicine of cacao. Cacao is just chocolate in its purest form. And the reason why I say medicine is because it's like heart medicine, holistic heart medicine that just like opens up your heart. And it is rich in magnesium, antioxidant, minerals. It is so good for you, so good for you. And this is actually a medicine that I have been working with, a plant medicine that I've been working with since 2020, so for 4 years now. And when I say plant medicine, it doesn't really give you any like psychoactive or psychedelic sensations. It's just literally a heart opener. The frequency of it is very motherly, it's very feminine, and it's very heart opening. And so that's why we use it in women's circles, because it helps us just open up our heart space. And in these women's circles, we also share our vulnerabilities, we share our emotions, which is so important in the society and the world that we live in nowadays, because the feminine has been so deeply suppressed from feeling her emotions and expressing them. And so, we have women going to work and constantly needing to shove down how they're feeling to produce, to achieve, to do. And so I believe that creating these safe spaces in community for women to gather and to share and to express is very healing, because emotions are energy in motion. And if these energies aren't being expressed, aren't being held, aren't being supported, then they manifest in the body as dis-ease, mental dis-ease, or physical dis-ease. And that's what's creating a lot of medical condition in our world. So really the power of women gathering. I mean, this is also rooted in ancient times. Like, women used to gather back in the day and just connect and nurture each other and bleed together during their menstrual cycles. And there's so much power in that. And yet over time, with the patriarchal system and everything that's come to play, this toxic masculine energy that we're surrounded by and bombarded with in our society, not because it's a bad thing, it's just the way the planet has decided to evolve over time. But because of that, women have been so separated. Women have been so disconnected from each other. And there's been a lot of wounding that has happened because of that. A lot of competition and judgment and petty stuff that we see in reality TV shows and we see in social media, and we think that that's the way women are meant to relate, and it's all illusion. These are all illusions that we're being bombarded with that aren't rooted in truth. And the truth of it is that when women gather together with open hearts, with just without judgment, with just full on acceptance of each other, there is so much magic that happens. And so that is what got created through this experience, as the beautiful Anya, the tattoo artist, which I'll let her introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Anya Karuna. I'm a tattoo artist. Oh wait, no, I want to redo it again because I want to. Hi, I'm Anya Karuna. Hi, I'm Anya. Hi, I'm Anya Karuna. Hi, I'm Anya Karuna. I'm a tattoo artist. Oh wait, no, I want to redo it again because I want to start with artist. Yeah. So shall we redo? Just go? Just go. Okay.
I'll edit it.
Okay. How did I do it before? Let me think. I'm Anya Karuna. I'm an artist, a tattoo artist by profession. Hi, I'm Anya. Hi.
So this beautiful soul decided to attend this women's circle, so courageous of her, and show up, push past her fears.
This is my first time ever attending a women's circle. But my friend was supposed to come with. She wasn't able to attend. I think she had to go to Jersey. I went alone. That for me is entirely out of my comfort zone because I am not the most extroverted of individuals. As you can see, I am in a cocoon. I put myself out there for the first time ever. Joa opens the door and I see this goddess standing in front of me, and I'm like, I'm not worthy, you know, and I'm thinking, oh my, and I'm suddenly having all these emotions of I'm having insecurities. I'm feeling very vulnerable. And at the time I was going through one of the most, if not the most difficult health scares of my life. There's about 25 or so women there. It was loads and loads of women there. And I had no idea because my friend told me that it was, 5 people. No. So, so I'm sitting amongst all these beautiful women, and so I'm feeling insecure. I'm feeling it was challenging. So everyone goes through telling their stories, and it's very emotional, it's palpable, and then it gets to me, and at this point I'm so overwrought with emotion and unable to contain it. I burst out in tears and I could not speak. The girl next to me, I had to ask her to go because I really couldn't speak. And it comes back to me and I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna try again. And I had to look at the ground. I couldn't look at anyone in their eyes, because if I looked at anyone in their eyes, then I would cry again. And I was sobbing, ugly crying, Kim Kardashian crying. So like bad. So here I am, emotional because of this incredible health scare that it was thrown upon me, and I just was unprepared emotionally and physically, obviously. I'm talking about what I had going on, and all of the women there, once I said something, I'm just gonna say, I had a hysterectomy. I said, I feel as though I'm grieving the loss of my womb. I could feel everyone like, because everyone got it. Everyone understood what that could feel like. I'm crying, I'm sobbing, and Joa comes over to me and hugs me in a way that I've never felt before. The hug of a mother. And it was something that I had not experienced. And it was incredibly emotional. I'm trying not to cry. It was the kind of comforting that I don't know. I can't fathom the word to describe the feeling that I got. That it was pivotal to a change in my path. That level, that extreme for me. I don't think that Joa even realized it at the time. But for me, it was something that was just so needed. It was needed.
That is the power of facing your fears. If she wouldn't have faced her fear and her insecurity, if she wouldn't have pushed past it and followed that intuitive nudge, followed her intuition to go to this women's circle, she wouldn't have had the release that she had, the ability to let go of this grief that she was experiencing. How cool is that? You know, in today's day, we're like so stuck on our phones, we're stuck in front of a screen, we're stuck just always just in this state of like technology, and we're missing that human connection. And creating that human connection can feel a little scary at first, but when you push past that fear, let me tell you, the magic that you cultivate when you are in community, it's beyond what words can even describe, and you can see it through this experience in itself. And so I invite you to start looking for communities around you, or if you're wanting to join a community, I have an online community that can be really supportive for you. And we do that through my Wildly Devoted Embodiment Academy and other little ways that I'm going to be creating more community. But really immerse yourself in community with people that are also wanting to experience more of life, because that's what this is about, right? Like, if you're watching this, I know you're somebody that wants to experience the full aliveness that life has to offer you, and you want to experience more of the deliciousness and the richness that's available for you in this life. And that's why we devote ourselves to the inner work. That's why we devote ourselves to pushing past our fears. It's because we know that there's so much more to life that we get to experience, right? And so let this be an inspiration to push past your comfort zone and to immerse yourself in those communities. When I felt that nudge, that visceral nudge in my body, because that's what your intuition is. Your intuition lives in the wisdom of your body. Your intuition is a felt sense. It sends you this sensation inside that you can like feel, this knowing. And it is also the God frequency inside of you. Like, your deepest, most profound connection with God is your intuition. This frequency that's way beyond what you can even conceptualize. Because I've formed a connection with my intuition, I know what that's like. That day when I heard my intuition come through, guess what was the first thing that happened? My mind was like, nah, what if she needs her own process? What if she doesn't need you to do that? Like, that's weird. Why would you go up to, like, what if you feel awkward giving her a hug? And all these what ifs started to come through, which is what happens. You hear the nudge and then these what ifs start to come through. And my intuition was so loud that day that I was like, no, I gotta go for it. If I haven't been devoted to working on healing my mother wounds and my sister wounds, I wouldn't have felt safe enough to go up to a woman and nurture her that day. The feminine energy is nurturing. The feminine energy also encompasses the mother archetype. There's different archetypes for the feminine, and one of them, the nurturing aspect of the feminine, is the mother archetype. And so the mother archetype inside of us, this frequency inside of us, is natural. It's our natural essence. However, if we are holding on to mother wounds and distorted illusions and frequencies around the way we relate to our mother, it can really suppress this innate nurturing energy that we have as women. And so if growing up, the mother figure in your life didn't give you the love that you wanted, or the validation that you needed, or the support or the safety, then the way that you relate to your feminine energy, your life force, is the way that you relate to your mother. This is such core frequencies that we need to work with to liberate ourselves. But when you go into that mother wound and you start to heal your relationship to the mother, not necessarily needing to have conversations with your mom, and nothing having to do with you speaking to your mother. That can be a part of it, but that's not where it starts. It starts within you. When you can go into all of those energies that you feel towards your mother, the anger, the resentment, the frustration, the pissed offness, the whatever you feel towards your mother, when you can go into the depths of those and heal those, you start to open up more of your capacity to hold your own life force energy, because you're no longer relating to your feminine energy the way you're relating to your mother or the way that your mother treated you. Typically, the way we treat our feminine energy is the way that our mothers treated us, or the way we treat our mother, vice versa. And so, going deep into these mother wounds supported me in being able to feel safe around. And so let's go into the sister wound, which is deeply correlated to the mother wound. It's all around the feminine. It's like you have the feminine energy, and then the mother wound and the sister wound are two really core wounds. And so the sister wound is the way we relate to other women, which can also come from the way we relate to our mother. And so there's this collective wound around the feminine, around competition and judgment and petty stuff like I talked about. And then the way we've seen other women has really distorted our ability to come together. And so I've gone deep into that sister wound too, especially as somebody that, fun fact, I was a little ghetto girl, okay? I got into fights in school with women. I had a woman come up to me one day because somebody threw a can at her car and she thought it was me. And she literally pointed her fingers like this at me and touched me. And I had so much anger back then because that was a lot of my family. You know, we projected a lot of anger onto each other. And so there was a lot of anger inside of me. And I freaking grabbed her and I punched her. And then she fell down to the ground. And I got really aggressive. And I won't get into the details, but I got really aggressive. And that was the last day that I ever fought a woman. But it goes to show how deep this is in all of us, and even in our childhood. I mean, that was one of the fights. I got into other fights too with other women, and you know, I remember a woman one time being like to this guy, like, "Oh, what do you mean she's cute? She looks like a rat." And like that stuck with me for the longest time. Like that's the way we've related in school. I'm sure you can relate to this, right? That's the way we've related in school. That's the way we've talked about each other. And so now we're adults and we're like having these petty relationships and talking behind each other's back. I mean, there's even a movie called Mean Girls, you know, like it's so distorted. And so when we can devote ourselves to healing these sister wounds and starting to see women as safe spaces, which happens in women's circles and retreats and communities, it starts to create even a deeper healing within our own feminine. And it's really beautiful what happens. And so if I wouldn't have gone into those deep sister wounds, I wouldn't have felt safe enough to go up to a sister and give her a hug. And so let's talk about the power of manifestation, right? We hear about manifestation all the time. And a more feminine outlook on manifestation is magnetism. And magnetism is being so embodied in your own frequency, in your essence, in your worth, in who you are, that you attract things into your life that are a match to your frequency. You attract your desires. And so I've been manifesting this tattoo for the longest time. And so I want to talk about the power of how being detached from how it was going to happen led it to happen in this most miraculous way. When I said I wanted a tattoo, I didn't really know what it was going to be or how it was going to look or how it was going to happen. I just knew I wanted a sleeve. And so this was a couple years ago, and I made a Pinterest board about it, and I was like, I don't know how it's going to happen, but you know, it'll happen when it's meant to. And so that energy of detachment and being like, it'll happen when it's meant to. That energy of detachment allows you to open up space for the mystery to let it unfold for you. What does this mean? You give space for the universe, for God, to come in and to put together the perfect path on how you are going to magnetize this to you. And so during that phase of detachment, here's you, here's your desire. Here is the space between you and your desire. When you are detached and you're making space for the universe and God to put this path that's going to be beyond what your mind can even conceptualize, when you're in that state of detachment, this space between you and your desire, you are becoming prepared to be a frequency and an energetic match for your desire. And so along the path, I have been preparing without even knowing. God's been preparing me through my embodiment journey, through trusting my intuition, and through healing a lot of my feminine wounds to be in that place at that time, to feel safe enough in who I am, to go up to this woman and to give her a hug. And that wouldn't have been the case years ago. Because years ago, I wouldn't have understood what my intuition even sounded like or felt like. I wouldn't have trusted that nudge of going up to a woman and giving her a hug. And lastly, I wouldn't have given a hug. I felt so weird with physical touch up until like a year ago. Year and a half ago? Yeah. And so during that space of between you and your desire, you're becoming prepared to receive that desire at the perfect freaking time. Just like this happened. And so it's so cool to see how the power of manifestation, the power of intuition, and the power of healing these feminine wounds created this beautiful experience of getting a free tattoo. And that is how magical life can be when you are devoted to liberating yourself and to embodying your essence. Because when you are embodying your soul's essence, that is when you are the most magnetic. And you only keep getting more and more and more magnetic the more that you heal these illusions and distortions that are keeping you from your power and your worth. And then you start to attract your desires to you in the most magical ways. This tattoo here also is so special because yes, I got a free tattoo. Yes, manifestation, intuition, and healing my feminine wounds got me the free tattoo. But the type of connection that I built with this woman, her essence, and this woman is like a whole galaxy inside of her. She is so multidimensional and multifaceted, and she was showing me, like, I felt like I was in a movie. Just her essence, and like showing me things, showing me new music, like listening to jazz and singing different languages as she was creating my tattoo, and talking about anthropology and humans and how humans have evolved, and like all of these things and concepts that I've never like sat with or thought about or been with. And I was like, yo, I feel like I am in a movie. Like, I'm not just getting a tattoo, but I'm in a movie. And the way that she keeps her space, it's like dark, feminine, cozy vibes. I was like, where am I? And that is how life gets to feel for us. We get to create a life that feels like we're attracting things into our life that blow our mind and that keep us in this state of like excitement and fun and mystery in life. And that's what this experience was about. And she ended up drawing this flower for me before she even connected deeper with me. And this flower is a poppy. And she said it's because I remind her of the feminine, which is delicate and soft, but also very fierce, because poppies are what they make, certain substances with. And so this flower is very delicate and beautiful, but she's also fierce. And she's like, it reminds me of your personality. And I was like, how special is this? This isn't just a tattoo. This was an experience. This was the mystery unfolding, the magic of life unfolding. And I am just so blessed and grateful that I get to witness how magical life really is when you devote yourself to the inner work and to your healing and to your liberation. You attract amazing adventures and opportunities. And that's why I started this channel, because I want to start showing more of how your devotion can truly open up doors and opportunities and places and people and things that blow your mind and can help you step forward and not let fear stop you. It's really magical. And so I'm so happy that I got to share this. I'm so happy that you got to be part of a little piece of my life, and hopefully you can take lessons with this too, around manifestation, around using the power of your intuition, around healing your mother wound and your sister wound, because it will really open you up. And this is just me reflecting back to you how magical your life can be too. And so I love you. Thank you for being part of this community that I'm slowly building here. I'm so excited to build this community. So if you're watching this, I would love for you to like, for you to subscribe to this channel, and comment below what your main takeaways were. You can also follow me on Instagram, DM me. You can find those links below. And I just thank you so much for being part of this journey. Mwah.